Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to learn how to set up an SSL certificate for a Wamp server. Um, what we're going to do actually is use certificates from letsencrypt, and that's really easy when you do it in a Unix server, and really easy also when you do it for IIS. But when you do it for a Wamp server, it's somehow really tricky. So I've been dealing with this for a few days already, and I want to share my knowledge. Also, I want to create this video as a reminder for me when I need to do this again. First, the requirements are, let's see, let me open my Google Chrome and let's see my list of downloads. Uh, you need to download this application. Um, it looks like if I Google it, there are like several other sites that have it, but it's from this place, from OpenSSL. So you will need to find the correct one for your OS. In my case is 64-bit, so I download this one. I'm going to save this link here. Second one, you will need to download uh, letsencrypt win from this page. Let's also find that. Here, this is the newest one. Or this is newer than even than the one that I have already. So we're going to put this on the links, and then we are somehow ready to go. So you have to download the SSL and then the Let's Encrypt win. So after we install both of them, we can go to the file system, and this software, the Open SSL, will be installed in this directory. You just have to install it. You don't have to do anything. And then the Let's Encrypt, you have to get the zip file, and then the easiest way to put it is in the C drive in something like here. So let's say that these two steps are actually done. Then what you need to do is go to your Wamp server, which mine is already running, and you have to do two stuff. First, um, you need to go to Apache modules and enable the SSL module, this one. If you see mine is enabled already, it's because I have already one domain with Let's Encrypt. So step 3, and this will be step 1, and step 2 will be install the software. Okay, so after that, you need to come to your Apache server, to your Wamp server, and go to Apache and edit the HTTPD conf. In this case, we will have to go to the listen uh, uh, part of the file, and usually it's something like this, or maybe uh, you can find this that is written like this, like to listen to all the IPs, and port 80, which is the default port for www. But in my case, I have several IPs in my server, so I have to specify which IP I'm using. Also, uh, by default, I don't remember how after the first setup how it is if it's listening to 443 and 80, but since we're going to use port 443 to the SSL certificate, we need to add the listen option again for the IP 000 and the IP where the Apache is listening. In your case, this might be something, I'm going to put it in a different file. Uh, Maybe I'm going to put it here. Oops, the server is somehow slow. Okay, I'm going to put it in our little file that we're creating. So your listen will be something like this. If you have more than one IP and you're listening only to one, you have to specify which IP it is. And let's save this. So in my case, I already have it. I don't have to do it. Perfect. And then what we need to do is open a command prompt. And it's always better if you run it as an administrator. And then we have to go to this directory, letsencrypt win simple. Okay, now that we're here, what we need to do, um, the site that we are going to set up, it already needs to be running on on the Apache server because we're going to do some verification. So in this case, what we're going to do is create the folder for this new website and start serving it. Let me check. I still have battery. Good. So let's go here to the Wamp directory, www, and in here I already have one site, my personal site, Bit Frameworks. So what we're going to do is going to add, I'm going to name this SAP. So what we need to do now, I'm using virtual hosts because I'm hosting more than one site. So we're going to edit the HTTPD virtual host. In this case, I have the default virtual host already here and one virtual host for my BitFrameworks domain. So basically, I have two virtual hosts for it, one in port 80 and one in port 443. What I'm going to do right now is copy the one in 443 because that's the most complete one. The port 80 is just the right direction. So what I'm going to put here is a comment. This section is going to be Xamarin Android apps, which is my domain. I'm going to put this here and change this to port 80. And I'm going to remove the rewrite engine. I'm going to remove the directory. I need to leave it like that, and I'm going to remove the SSL for now. So the folder that we are listening to in this case, I mean that this address is pointing is not going to be this. It's going to be a different one. We just created it. It's going to be www sap. So sap, we're going to put it there. And the server name will be in this case www.samarinandroidapps.com. And the server alias is going to be Xamarin Android's app without the .com. But right now it won't work because it's commented out. So then what we need to do is we need to create an alias, because if we install something like WordPress, uh, it will block the directory browsing. So the Let's Encrypt certificate asks you to put some files in a directory within your domain so they can verify that your domain is yours, right? So in this case, um, Let's Encrypt looks for this folder within your domain, and this should be pointing to a folder in the file system. So this folder will be here. So this alias will be accessed when um, Let's Encrypt will try to verify your domain by doing a request to something like this. So this folder needs to be accessible. So that's what we're doing now. And let's see, that's pretty much it. This is the permissions that the requests are able to be shown from the outside, that this folder is able to be served from the outside. So when I access from my computer at home, I can see the web server. Otherwise, only requests within the server will work. But we still need to change here so it match the the folder for this application. So right now, basically, we have a virtual host in port 80 um, for Xamarin Android apps, and the name of the folder is SAP. We're going to save this and we're going to restart Apache. Okay, it looks like it's working, so let's see. We're going to open here. Okay, and it worked, right? So we're serving this on our Wamp server. Just to prove it, I'm going to create a file here, a text file. Hello, Xamarin. And let's refresh this. And the file is here, so we're serving this, and it's correct. After that, what we need to do is to create a certificate. In this case, I'm going to put this line on the description, so you can just copy and paste it. In this case, it's going to be www.xamarin androidapps.com, and the root folder, which will be this one, is here, but is SAP. And this host, manual host, needs to match the name of or server name in here. If it doesn't match, you won't be able to serve SSL requests, and there's going to be an error, I think. So this needs to match the command that we're going to create, called in here. And I think we're ready, so let's try to run this. We're going to do a test because you can do only like 5 certificate requests per week. So if you make a mistake 5 times, you won't be able to generate a certificate, and you have to wait for um, 7 days, I think. So we paste this and we run it. Okay, we see that the authorization is valid because it creates some folder. See, in the Wamp, he creates the well-known and then put a file on it, and then he tries to browse to this address, and there is a file there with some values, so they're checking for that values, and it means that our domain is accessible for letsencrypt to see it. So basically that's good. uh, this is a test certificate, so we're going to say no for everything, and now we have to run the command that is actually the one for the live site. Then we just remove the test parameter at the end, and then we run it. And then it asks us if they want to um, replace the certificate. I think there's already a certificate there. Um, uh, let's say yes. Um, because this is a task that renew the certificate every X amount of time. Um, so in this case, I have several domains. I don't know if all the domains will be included in the same task, or I have to create tasks for each domain. But then I will check that in the OS and create a separate tutorial on the renewal. Then I will say, yes, I want to specify who will run the task. The username is administrator, and then my password. Okay, so it creates a scheduled task that will renew after this date because the certificates are only valid for 90 days, so we need to auto-renew them. So far so good. I think we have already a certificate running, and the important part is this, that you need to know where the certificates are stored, um, because we need this information for later. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to modify this and add another virtual host for 443. Basically, in this case, what we're going to do is add another virtual host for port 80, and we're going to move the host that we already have for the port 443. Right. So in this case, the server name and server alias, I'm going to copy it from here to here. the domain, because we have the rewrite engine, we're going to copy and put the right domain name. Okay, so basically, if you see, this is quite simple. It says that this will be redirecting everything that comes to port 80 to this address, which includes the HTTPS. So far so good. Then on the 443, we need to have still the alias. So Let's Encrypt is able to access um, this directory from the outside to verify our certificate. And let's see, also the directory needs to still be there. And we need to add this part again, the rewrite engine part. And we have to put it where? After the document root. And we save it. And we need to replace this with the correct name. So this is going to be somewhere in Android apps. Somewhere in Android apps. And I think that's it. Then we need to put the SSL engine on here. And we need to find some files. So what we're going to do is check the information in here, and let's see where the certificates are stored, because the values are going to be these ones. So we have the certificate, the issuer certificate, and the saving certificate. So basically they're going to live in the same directory of my other certificates. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to copy this and go to the file system. So in here I have certificates for like 3 domains. So we're going to get the values that we need from here. So basically they ask me for the domain cert PEM. So let's check if that exists. So let's see www is this one, set perm. So basically you only have to replace the domain name in here. So the same for this part. Like we need .com, just because we have it like that in here. And I think this should be the same. Uh, let's check if there is more than one CA certificate. No, it's still the same, because I think it's just one for server. So the value is the same. I don't need to change it. And basically I think that's it. We save this, and I guess we have to cross our fingers and just restart the server. and it looks like it's working. So right now, see it redirect to HTTPS, and it says that it's not secure, but that happens sometime. I don't know why. Like 1 second they show that they are secure, and 1 second they show that they are not. I don't know if there's something in the cache of the browser or something like that. I still need to figure that out. But the best way to test it is to put directly the HTTPS. I don't know if the problem that doesn't show that it is secure is because of the redirection. But anyway, let's try to do it like this. And see, in this case, it shows that it's secure. But when it was loaded before for the browser, um, it doesn't show that it's secure. And sometimes, I don't know, especially when you have WordPress, this change for not secure. But basically, that's how it is. It's quite easy process. So, but if you mess up, it took me like 3 weeks to figure this out. But no, like I didn't put that much time like every day. Like it's like in 2 days I was able to figure out everything, but 2 days is still a lot of time. So right now the requests are secure, and that's pretty much it. I know. Let's see. And see in the new browser that doesn't have any cache from the old the domain or all the old codes that were not secure is working perfectly. It's secure. And let's try to see it from the outside from my computer. See, it's secure. So perfect. So far, so good. Um, I well, this is everything for this tutorial. I'm going to post all the information. It's like half an hour tutorial, but it took me like a lot of time. So I hope that it's good for you. I'm going to put this information in the YouTube channel so you can just download the files and copy and paste um, the the values that you need to paste. Okay, and that's pretty much it, and see you guys in the next video, which will be about the auto renewal.